Morning, everyone. Welcome to the cheese factory at Pinecrest Village, Manitowoc Historical Society. And we're going to show how we're making cheese. I have my cheese done already for today. Usually my milk comes at 3 in the morning. Farmers can't keep their milk very cool unless they use a lot of water, so they bring it in right away. And cheese process is about 4 hours. And now we're getting after 10 o'clock already, so I have all my cheese made up. But I'm going to show you what I did do. So my milk comes in here, and the reason we have a big crank here, this is like a crane, because these barrels are 135 pounds that hold the milk, and we're trying to eliminate some work by using gravity. So we bring our milk up from the carts. There's a cart, there's a cart, he took it home already. There's a cart, they bring their carts here with their milk with a horse. We dump it into this barrel here, which there's a scale underneath. And we weigh it, sample it, and then we can pay our farmer. So then I send my milk in and let's start making cheese. So in here, this is what we call a cheese vat. And our milk comes in here, runs through a little strainer. It might be a piece of straw or something. And warm it up. If it isn't already at 80, say we're going to make cheddar, if it isn't already at 88 degrees, we're going to warm it up by adding a little fire to our flue down below. And when we have reached our temperature, we take a small hole and pull all our coals out again to hold it at our temperature that we want. And when we've got that, then we'll add our color. If we're going to make a colored cheese like cheddar, curds, Colby, otherwise be white, and a culture to sour the milk. And then we're going to use a coagulant called rennet. And when this rennet is added, that is the change that can never go back to milk anymore. It's all this while we could have still saved it for milk, but now we can't. So once the milk has been set, we call it, introduced with rennet, it'll set up thick like Jello in about 30 minutes. And then we'll take these two harps up here. One's vertical and horizontal, and we'll go lengthways and crossways. And we'll have pea-sized little curds. And immediately after we do cut this, we call it cutting the milk is actually what the word is for it. When we do cut this milk, we have curds and whey. And it's pretty much like the Little Miss Muffin. It's the same idea. So we have curds and whey, but now this is very soft, as just Jello is very soft too. So we have to heat and stir slowly, and we'll put some fire back into our flue and heat and stir it slow, turn it slow, because it's very gentle and would break up. And then we'll get up maybe a little over 100 degrees. And every time we start heating or shrinking, it makes sense that the curd will get a little more tough. And the whole idea of cheese making is to remove that 85% water that comes in milk so that it lasts longer. That's why cheese can last 10 years and milk can only go 2 weeks. But if it's pasteurized. And once we have that, we'll drain our whey off and send it to the whey tank out here for the farmers to take home. And when we get done draining, these curds will be so warm, we'll have about a 4-inch bed of curd in here, these little pea-shaped curds, that they'll stick together that we can actually make slabs out of them and pile them up until the cheese is very stretchy. And then we'll take it to this machine and put this machine on top of this vat. And here's this machine that actually makes curds. Here's the width, down below is the length. All in one process, it's making that small curd. And the reason we make it in this size is to get salt in every little chunk of cheese. Is that actually idea for it, to have a very good salt distribution. People like to eat curds, but actually eating curds is the same as eating cookie dough. It's taking it out of context. Before 1950, nobody ate curds except for a cheesemaker. And otherwise, nobody knew about it until then. So, but they are good though compared to cookie dough. Anyway, once we take our curds, we got them salted in this vat here, and then we'll put them into this barrel. And I'll get about over half a barrel, almost 3/4 barrel of curds in here. And I usually sell them to the general store. But if he says I don't need any curds today because they do not last very long, everybody knows that, you know, the 3 days on curds is kind of old already. So what I do, if I can't sell my curds just that way, I'm going to take my curds and put them in these containers. This particular container is called a cheese hoop, and there's a lot of varieties of hoops, and this is a daisy. Now there's favorites, there's juniors, there's longhorns. They all got, cheesemakers all got funny names for their containers, but this happens to be a daisy. So what I'll do is I'll press this thing all night, put those curds in there, and they're nice and warm because we had about 102 degrees on that cheese. And we're gonna put pressure on this, and it's gonna squeeze more of that moisture out, what we talked about that we want to get rid of. So we're gonna press this all night, and then in the morning I'll come and hopefully it's still not curds. So I'll take my daisy with my cover hook, pull out my cover. I have a cloth on here so that cheese normally would stick to steel, and this usually has a cloth inside too. So we put cloth in it so it doesn't stick to the cheese. Otherwise, we try to take this piece of cheese out and it breaks right away. So we take our cloth out and take a look at it, and there's absolutely no curds. If you look at that chunk of cheese on your table, if it's orange, you'll never find a curd in there. And that was curds the day before if it's only 1 day old cheese, or curds 10 years ago if it's 10 years old. So here we have our big chunk of cheese, and it's got a cloth around it, and I'm going to show you when we go to our room. This cheese has what we call a cheese bandage on it. It's kind of funny. It won't do much for a cut, but it holds this cheese together because it's so soft. It's 100 degrees and you need to keep your factory warm all night, so it does press together. But this is all full of whey because it was squeezing whey out all night. So we have to dry this in this room with these two windows. I open both windows up, and I turn it, get this side dry, go back again. Moisture likes to migrate a little bit. Once I got it dry enough, I can take my wheel and put it in this wooden box. Wood is the best thing for holding cheese, and it can breathe, whereas steel containers, it might sweat in there. So here we have this chunk of cheese, this big wheel. What can I do with it here? I can't keep it here either. I have to send it to a ice house, a place where they gather ice in the winter from rivers and ponds, and cover it up with sawdust so it doesn't melt in the summer. And that's how I age my cheese, and we sell and cut it up for them, for people that out of that particular location. But so it isn't done here. So that's pretty much the process from start to finish, how it gets to be a chunk of cheese on your table. It usually takes about 4 hours, like I said. So, and if you're here by yourself, it's plenty of work. Plenty of work. So until next time, have a good day and good luck with your butter.